What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Wednesday night's late night agenda. I hope that you're all in good spirits. The transfer window is quickly coming to a close, and we have some updates that we hope will keep you right up to date with where Liverpool are in this summer's window. Some positive updates around Mark Guehi, some positive updates around Alexander-Isak. We'll talk a little bit about James McConnell and his loan move as well over to Ajax. A little bit on Rodrigo, as there have been reports that Liverpool could turn to him if they continue to be frustrated with Isak. We'll take you through Bayern space and what Dave said about Michael Olise's release clause and lots more over the next 90 minutes. You know the drill, folks. This is your show. We want to know what you want to discuss, so do put it into the comment section. We appreciate your support. Don't want to tempt faith or anything. But as I sit here, fate I should say, as I sit here, United they were losing 2-0 just before I came on. Unless things have changed, we're all Grimsby fans this evening, right? Everton were 0-0 as well at the Hill Dickinson in their Carabao Cup game. And that draw is taking place for the third round after United's game. So, of course, we'll update you. Actually, do you know what? More than likely, you're going to update us on how that draw is working out. So let's get stuck into it tonight. John, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. My man, appreciate you being in. Thank you for becoming a member, my man. Right, let's see, where do we want to kick off today's stream? Let's go back earlier on in the day a little bit. And let's have a look. Let's talk about Costas to kick us off tonight while we wait for a couple of people to come in. So, DiMarzio have said that Liverpool have rejected Roma's offer of a loan with an option to buy for Costas. Roma are prepared to wait as they believe Liverpool may sanction a loan closer to the end of the window. I've mentioned this a few times. I'm going to reiterate it again. It's been a surprise to me to see that more clubs haven't been queuing up to throw 15 million quid at us for Costas. Obviously, like I've said numerous times, very experienced Greek international. Bit of a surprise there that the Reds haven't had some offers in. Jack Nickel, how are we, dude? Welcome, Grimsby Town, and thank you for the laughs. I couldn't believe it, mate. I couldn't. And I seen the second goal. I seen just the highlight of the first one, but I watched the second goal live as I'd swapped over channels. And Onana is just all kinds of awful. Like, really, really all kinds of awful. How on earth did they spend that much money on him? What can you do except laugh, smile, and move on? Also, want to just say I recorded with Lee Gunner today, so that is going to come out on Friday morning. We're going to give you a couple of previews ahead of that Arsenal game. Obviously, we'll hear Lee's side as an Arsenal fan, and then I'll record my preview that'll be out Saturday morning. Joseph Purvis, how are you, sir? Losing 2-0 to a League 2 side is bamboozling. And they got the really mad part is, Joseph, it isn't United's first team, but it's a pretty strong United team. No Bruno in the starting 11, but he is on the bench. But they had Cunha on, they had Sesko on. It is a strong United team, and like you said, to be 2-0 down against Grimsby is not what United fans and Ruben Amorim are going to want. So they need to rescue that, because remember, they've no European football this year. So if they got knocked out of the League Cup, we all know they ain't winning the Prem. So it's down to the FA Cup straight away then for United, or the season's nearly over. Right. Let's talk about an article in the Mail Sport. I will move on to Isak and Guehi, don't worry. I'm not leaving you hanging. But an article today really caught my attention because they said Premier League footballers are fixing matches. Former police unit chief staggering claim after a casino raid amid questions over confiscated phone key to the investigation. Now, I don't really have any more info on it than that, but it is interesting to see. And if anything comes of that, of course, we'll let you know. Right, where to kick off first on the Mark Guehi stuff? Let's start with Fabrizio Romano. So he started off the day by saying Liverpool remain in active talks to sign Mark Guehi immediately. Liverpool are ready to pay over 30 million now to get the deal done, but it depends on Crystal Palace. If Palace find replacements and let him go, Guehi already said yes to the Reds. Now, just before I came on, there was another update on that one. This time, well, he's gone a little bit bigger. He said Liverpool are ready to pay what's needed to sign Mark Guehi immediately this summer. So I hope that he's as good as his word there, and that we do go and pay whatever it takes to get Mark Guehi in, because every single one of us are nervous about Sunday, right? With Konate alongside Virgil. Let's be honest about it. We're all adults. Well, grown-ups, let's say. We're nervous about that situation. So if we can bring in Mark Guehi, and if we can get this through this weekend with, let's say, Joe Gomez maybe alongside Virgil, I think that will certainly be a great start to the end of the window. Alexander Isak, I'm going to move on to in a moment, but on Mark Guehi, it is looking positive. I mean, James Pearce even said that it's just a matter of time before Mark Guehi becomes a Liverpool player. Whether it's now, whether it's when his contract comes up, he is going to become a Liverpool player. But of course, we want it to be in the here and now in this window. We do know it shuts Monday, 7 p.m, so fingers crossed. Chad, how are you, sir? Said, cheers, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I'm good. Yeah, really good, my man. Still can't really hear properly out my right ear, but, you know, apart from that, all good. Joe, how are you, sir? Said, Craig, hope you're okay. You don't need to read this out. Well, no, I'm going to. It's a super chat. I got to do it. Just wanted to say if you could get Connor to pass on my info about the wheelchair to me. I haven't really spoken with him today because Connor plays 5-a-side on a Wednesday. So, well, it's usually a Thursday actually, Joe, but today it's Wednesday. So I haven't spoken with him much about it. He did say that you were waiting for a quote back, something like that, and that you'd ordered it. So I'm delighted for you that it's going ahead. And of course, we're going to try our best to submit as much as we can to help you out with that one. We're going to donate the ticket sales from our side for our last ever show in Liverpool, but we will make sure we get you into that chair as soon as we can, Joe, and thank you for dropping in, my man. Hope you're well. David, lovely to see you as always, sir. Thank you. There's Liz. I'm glad, Liz, that you are in safe and sound. I was thinking about you on Monday when you said you had to have that heart procedure, so I hope that you're well. And 51 months with us, Liz. Absolute legend. Appreciate you. Tanya said, must admit I'm worried about the signings we need. To be honest, Tanya, I don't know how we couldn't be a little bit concerned. You know, we've won our 2 games at the start of the Premier League, but we haven't exactly blitzed the opposition and looked like we're at our imperious best. So I'm nervous as well. I'm more optimistic as each day goes on. I really am. And let's take you through, as an example, what Keith Downey of Sky Sports has said about Alexander Isak. He said, the information I've gotten is that the meeting between Isak and the Newcastle hierarchy didn't go too well. That certainly wasn't a positive resolution that came out of that meeting. And here's the really, really interesting part that certainly got me excited. That means there is a fairly high chance, as of Wednesday, that Isak could leave for Liverpool. And that's from Sky Sports' Keith Downey. Luke Edwards has been kind of backtracking a little bit. He's been trying to toe the company line, but, you know, the old comments are coming back to haunt him. So as I sit here, folks, I'm quietly confident, like I said yesterday, that we may get a good resolution to this Isak situation. Can't tell you when that bid may go in or what that bid will look like numerically. Some people say 130, some say 140. I would be surprised if we went that high. But as I say here today, the news is looking positive, if I'm being honest with you. But let me know what you're thinking. Are you feeling equally as positive around it? I understand it's tiring people, by the way. I really do. It's been a long summer, and a saga is only worth the saga if you get the signing. If you don't get it sorted out, yeah, it feels like you've wasted a load of emotional energy for nothing. But fingers crossed that this comes to a positive conclusion. Newcastle have had a couple of bids turned down for Strand Larsen, one at 50, one at 55. Looks like they could go back in with a third. I'm not sure where they stand with Johan Visa at the minute. That one is one they're still trying to work on, but it looks like they're being stonewalled a little bit by Brentford. And there's a couple of other options that have popped up, but most importantly, when you start to see the narrative from that side change towards it's not looking positive. You know, that meeting didn't go well for Newcastle on Monday. Alexander Isak underlined the fact that he wants to come to Liverpool, and most importantly, that he doesn't want to play for Newcastle again. So like I've always said all summer, the common sense thing to do here is to sell and move on. I know it's difficult for Newcastle fans to hear that, but that's the way top clubs deal with these things. You get the money in, you move an unhappy player on, you reinvest, and you go again. Newcastle's problem, though, has been the lack of real clarity in their recruitment. They've made a mess of the summer window, whichever way you look at it. They try to paint a picture that things are happy and rosy and that they've quietly gone about their business and had a good window. They haven't. They've messed it up, and they've nobody but themselves to blame on it. So I just hope they get a forward in so we can get Isak soon, and then we can all celebrate. John Joe, how are you, sir? Good evening, Craig. I'm being very optimistic that we're going to get these signings over the line. Super excited once we do this. So I'm optimistic as well, John Joe. I still feel like even with Guehi and Isak, you can look at the squad and think, are we a little bit short in other areas? But we did get a bit of clarity today on the situation with Stefan Bajcetic, which is something that we've been waiting for all summer. Let me just get my notes open on this one for you, and I'll talk you through where we're at with Stefan. 1 second. I want to make sure I've got the right notes open. So Paul Joyce, so we know it's credible. Paul Joyce has said Stefan Bajcetic is set to stay at Liverpool and work with Arne Slot and the coaching staff on his continued development. Tyler Morton's move to Lyon and James McConnell set to join Ajax means Liverpool want Bajcetic to remain at the club. That for me is good news. I'm a fan of Stefan Bajcetic, and like everybody else, I've been frustrated that he's had these injuries, but that's good news to me. I like Stefan, and that does give us another option once he gets fit in the middle of the park. So for me, I'll put that in the good news column. Right, where are we at? We've done John Joe's. Tony, how are you, sir? Would I take Trent back? You know, this is a conversation that actually came up today when I was talking with somebody. Would I take him back? No. Is there a world where he comes back and maybe makes his way to Liverpool? I don't know, perhaps. Look, you never say never in football. And whilst I was really annoyed at him leaving, and it's working out so far pretty much how we all thought it would over there. But you know what, Tony? Life's short. And if Trent was to, let's say, very clearly state that he messed up, he shit the bed, and he made a mistake moving, you know, I don't know. Is life too short to hold these grudges? It's the way he went about it that rubbed us all up the wrong way. So I don't think we'll see him back. I don't particularly want him back, but it's football and you never say never. We've seen things like this before. Did I ever think I'd see Robbie Fowler back, as an example, in 2006 after he was sold on and he went to Manchester City and Leeds? I didn't, but it came back and I was glad he did. I was delighted when Rafa brought him back in. I know it's a very different situation with Trent, but it's football. You know, you never know what the future holds. I don't think he's going to be finishing his career at Real Madrid by the looks of it anyway, but let's wait and see what happens. Do let us know in the chat. Do you know what? Let's kick that off as a poll. So let's ask this one. So would you take Trent back? Yes, no, or only after a big apology, or unsure? So we'll give you 4 options. Would you take Trent back? Yes, no, only after a big apology, or unsure. So let us know what you're thinking on that one. It'll really be interesting to see what numbers this shows at the end of it. So we'll revisit that in a while. Nomad, how are you, sir? Lots of love to you and the family. We'll have a match reaction video with Lee. Also, can't wait for this transfer window to be over. It's draining. So it is draining. I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah, I'm going to go on Lee's channel for the match reaction. Lee usually comes on mine for the preview and then I jump onto his for the match reaction. So we'll be doing that on Sunday after the game. Lewis said, Man United are the gift that keeps on giving. They are, but I hope they continue to give. I can't lie, mate. I do. I hope they continue to give. It is all kinds of funny seeing the situation at the minute because, remember, they spent £220 million on forwards. Let's not forget that. Manchester United, as I sit here right now, have the biggest net spend of any Premier League club in this window. United. They're back. Keane said Trent made his bed, he can lay in it. Grim Reaper said the way he left with all those celebrations, deceiving us like that, he can stay in Madrid. He's fecked up and he knows he's bench warming. Only if he comes back for free, said Andre Nielsen. Ash said no way Slot would take Trent back. He's already said publicly that Trent's work ethic is poor. There's a minimum expectation of any player. So here's what really shocks me. Is anybody surprised the way this situation is going from over there? Like, I said all summer, and you know, I get a lot of grief, but I said all summer, as soon as Carvajal's back fit and Trent has one poor game, the papers will be after him, the fans will be after him. And if he thought the media was bad over in the UK, I mean, let's run through something here. This was posted by Cop Talk, so credit to them. They said, in the last few days, the mainstream media in Spain has branded Trent as cold, boring, lifeless, lukewarm, insipid, timid, clueless, a liability who perturbs the defence, conservative, safety first, outclassed in training by Carvajal, in need of a wake-up call, so slow to settle it's like he travelled from England to Spain by a steamboat. So, not going too well over there with the minute for him, but, you know, it is what it is. He made his bed, as many people have said. It's his career. Danny Bingham, how are you, sir? Isak transfer lining up perfectly. He's done his bit. And I know a lot of people are tired of it. I do totally understand that. I'd be a liar, Danny, if I said I wasn't a bit weary after this summer's transfer window. I'm definitely looking forward to a few days break when it's all over. But if we get him in and we get the window with the end that we hope, I think it'll be a pretty productive window. But the one we need really as well is we need to get that centre-back situation sorted out, because we are all kinds of all over the place. And even you've got Mark Lawrenson talking about it now, former Liverpool stalwart and player, knows what a winning team looks like. And he's had his say in it, and he said the French boy, Konate, is all over the place. He's making all sorts of mistakes. And yeah, I mean, Liverpool's not particularly good, Liverpool's defence, but it'll get better. He's not wrong. Carragher said the same thing. If it wasn't for Virgil, we'd be absolutely screwed back there. And, you know, like we've said, none of us can say for certain what's causing Ibu to have this drop in form. Be unfair of us to try to pin it on one thing. But we haven't looked great. And we do need a resolution there. And clarity. You know, I keep trying to say this to people, but these things hanging over players' heads and the club's heads, they're not great. You know, I hate hearing, oh, they're all professional, it doesn't affect them. Bullshit. Of course it affects them. We've seen it. We've heard players like Salah and Virgil say it affects them. So, clarity, and I'll be happy. Whether that's Konate moving on, not signing a new deal, whether he signs a new deal, or whether we get Mark A. We just need a resolution. Harry said, hey Craig, have a wild guess who we sign next summer. Next summer? Oh God. I'm just trying to think of areas of the pitch. I'm going to go with Adam Wharton. That's my punt. So yeah, I'm going to go with Adam Wharton, but it's not based on any kind of inside information, just a stab in the dark. Craig, where do we finish without Isak and Guehi? So the without Isak thing, I think I need to caveat that a little bit. Without Isak or another top quality forward. I think we don't get one of them in and a centre-back resolution. Third? Yeah, third. I think we finish bottom of the big three, which will be, in this case, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. Without these two signings, I think third. Maybe second, depending on how injuries go. If we get them both in, I'm feeling confident we retain the title. So, even speaking with Lee today, he still has us as slight favourites in his mind as an Arsenal fan. I'm probably 50-50 at this point between us and Arsenal. So, get the signings over, get Isak bedded in and banging in some goals. Then yeah, I think we do it. Old Gamer, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Didn't put in a comment, but really do appreciate your support. Thank you, sir. Right, let's keep going because there's loads to get through today. Craig Hope of the Daily Mail said, I understand the stance from Wolves' end remains the same as it has in recent days. They do not want to sell Strand Larsen, and even an offer of 60 million would be rejected as it stands. They're just having an absolute mare. The Mail said, if Isak is to leave Newcastle, Newcastle will want to sign at least one, if not two strikers before Monday's deadline. The report claims Strand Larsen and Visa have always been viewed as replacements for Callum Wilson and not Isak. However, it is said there's a feeling at the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. The 25-year-old has essentially been on strike this summer as he looks to force a move to Liverpool. So, the Mail are saying it. Keith Downey is saying it. Even though Lukey boy is starting to backtrack a little bit, it's certainly looking good, optimistic, positive. Never going to say nailed on because it's football and anything can happen, but as each day goes by now, I'm again starting to grow in a bit of confidence. Kyle Agger said, I think we only get cheap depth next summer, with the summer after being the big one to cover for Mo and Virgil. Not great, but with our spend this summer, we can't afford it really. Well, we can afford it, but I do also think what you've said is probably right. We shouldn't need much more than squad maintenance if we get Isak and Guehi in. We can talk about one or two signs, but that's normal. So I would agree with you. I think if we get all the business done this summer that we're talking about, it's just squad maintenance, get moving forward. Maybe a player wants to move on. You'd imagine a couple every summer for the next window or two. So I don't think you're too far off on that one, Ash. Or sorry, Kyle, my apologies. Stephen said, was Isak walking around Newcastle in a Liverpool tracksuit? If so, balls on him. Not that I'm aware of. I certainly don't have any information to say he was. I mean, it would be a fairly cheeky thing to do, wouldn't it? And it would be a fairly brave thing to do as well. I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about Bayern space here for a minute, because there's been a bit of media movement around the Olise situation. So we did have Florian Plettenberg say that Olise does have a release clause, but it's not active till 2029. Now, Bayern Space, the account who initially talked about this release clause, said this: I can now reveal that inside Bayern there's serious unease about my report on Michael Olise's release clause. The club were not expecting this information to surface so early, which explains the defensiveness in Christoph Freund's official press conference where, after being asked directly, he could not deny it. The hesitation is in truth close to a confirmation, as you will hear from an official. Internally, Bayern are nervous. They know Olise's release clause is between 90 and £100 million, a figure that will be well within reach for most top Premier League clubs. They also know Richard Hughes has admired Michael Olise since his early days at Reading, and that Liverpool view him as the ideal successor to Mohamed Salah, and Manchester City and Chelsea will also be there after the World Cup. My report has already created a storm within Bayern, and the reaction from the club has been immediate. There is also an understanding here for the ordinary fan. If a journalist asks officially, directly, whether a release clause exists, he cannot deny it, because that would cause should the clause then one day be triggered, he would stand exposed as a liar and a fool in front of supporters. That is why Freund did not deny it when asked, but the clause exists. Instead, Bayern's leadership now instruct their friendly journalists to soften the massive wave caused by my report, publishing stories that claim no clause is in place. The purpose is simple: to calm supporters in the short term and to ensure that if the clause is ever triggered, the responsibility and the blame can be shifted onto the media rather than the officials who knew all along. This is not strategy, this is containment, a nervous attempt to hold back the tide of truth. In the end, the tide always returns and time always restores what others try to bury. So he's doubling down on his report that he believes that release clause is there, and he's now said between 90 and 100 million. So let's see over time whether there is truth to this. Liverpool come back in for Olise, or whether that release clause isn't active till 2029. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Chad, how are you, sir? Said Bruno, De Ligt and Mbeumo in the game now. Not sure that'll be enough. They got to do it. Like I said, Chad, their season is already up in the air. They've no European football, so the only chance they have for silverware is the two domestic cups, because they're not winning the Prem. So yeah, let's see if they can pull it out of the bag. But whatever happens now, even if they turn that around and win, it still looks shaky for Ruben Amorim at United, and I'm here for it. Victor said, "Oh Nana, what's the score? Oh Nana, what's the score?" Man, how can you spend 200 mil without having a top keeper? Speaking about addressing symptoms instead of structure. Yep, they're lopsided. And even at that, they spent 220 million, and how many goals have they had so far in the opening, 2.5 games now, from that £220 million strike force? Cunha was supposed to be Cantona, remember? According to Omar Barada, he was coming in to be the new Eric Cantona. They really do just love to dig themselves a hole, but you know what? Enjoy it. Enjoy every second of it. We're Liverpool fans. We should be. Gokul said, Wirtz, nothing happened. Thank God. We got Hugo after a quote. 3 primary signings. Kirkes, Wirtz. I don't know where the rest of that comes from, Gokul. after what Man U has bought, Arsenal had bought half a team extra. We will talk release clause. I don't know what you're saying here. Timeline, they have to buy, need to wait 3.5 months and 3 days. I don't know where you're going with that one, mate. Look, it was always going to be a late one for Isak because we always had to wait for to see if Newcastle could figure out how the transfer window works. The Mark Guehi one is the one that frustrates me the most because it feels like we're waiting to try to save 5 million quid. So I do hope we finally get moving on that one and we actually get the player that we absolutely need. Because, again, Konate, for whatever reason, just is not anywhere close to himself. Own goal is a top scorer for United. Well, see what I mean? You're not lying. Right, let's keep going. More news. So, James Pearce said that Liverpool have added to Arne Slot's backroom staff with the appointment of Luis Fernando Lubel as their new individual development lead coach. Lubel's arrival means a change of role for Aaron Briggs, who is set to be confirmed as Liverpool's first team set-piece coach. Well, I think it's fair to say he's got plenty of work to do if he's becoming a set-piece coach because, you know, we aren't great from set pieces, are we? We're not too bad up the other end. I mean, Verge gets his fair share, but we could definitely defend them a little bit better. El Harvo said, am I crazy for saying I'd rather we took the 130, 140 and used it for Olise and an actual backup striker? But you won't get Olise now. And I don't know who the backup striker that you're trying to get is either. So I just don't think it makes any sense. Let's not forget where our net spend is at the minute. I think I still have it here, do I? Yeah, we're at 93 odd million quid net spend, which isn't enough for what we're looking to do this summer. So we still have a bit of wiggle room there to bring in some players. And I'm hoping that by the time we're sitting here on Monday, that net spend is, well, let's just try and do some quick maths here. Somewhere close to 250. Maybe it's a bit lower if we sell Konate, but let's wait and see. Love the smug gif on WhatsApp, said Russ. Thank you, Russ. Mate, I'm going to be unbearable if/when Isak signs. Unbearable, bro. Because the amount of shit that I have taken over the last few weeks is nuts. Some of it from Liverpool fans coming in to, I don't know, try to blame me for everything. Like it's my fault that Newcastle can't sign the striker. But if it comes together, it's been an incredible window. But I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely still nervous. As I sit here now, I'm getting messages into my inbox and people are trying to figure out what's going on. But I'm not wrong, right? Surely people see this as well. It does feel like the stance from the Newcastle side is shifting here and they're starting to accept that it's an irretrievable situation. And when you start hearing those phrases, irretrievable situation, that really does show you that things are moving in the right direction and this is starting to dawn on them. And also, I've always said to you as well, it's a battle for hearts and minds. I keep using that phrase. Newcastle have to show their fans that they did everything. They will continue to try scapegoat the player, and they will say they tried everything, even going as far as going to his house on Monday to try to convince him of the project, offer him a new contract. But they were met with a very firm, no thank you, I want out. So it's looking positive. Got cool said, thank you, buddy. Love you, love your content. I can't take this weight gain for Liverpool. Love your content. Your t-shirts are very multiverse. I'm not sure if it's the latest video or the one after. What was the rest of your comment? Sorry, man. I don't know. Nice to see you, Got Cool, by the way. I know you've been a viewer for a long time, mate. Appreciate you being in. Yeah, look, I think this transfer business is tiring. It is. As much as I love transfers, as much as I love talking about them, it's tiring. It does take it out of you. And I'd be a liar if I said I'm not going to breathe a sigh of relief when this window comes to an end. You know, go all the way back to the Wirtz saga. I felt like we were waiting and waiting and waiting for that confirmation. Eventually it did come and we got him. But with Isak, I think if we don't get the player over the line, there's going to be a lot of frustrated Reds, and rightly so. But I did see something interesting that LFC Transfer Room posted. crediting Dean Jones of ESPN, said Liverpool are tempted to make a deadline day attempt to sign Real Madrid star Rodrigo if they're unable to convince Newcastle to sell Isak, as boss Arne Slot has remained determined to improve his attacking options. What do we think of that? A deadline day raid for Rodrigo? I mean, it would be great if we couldn't get Isak, but I'm not sure I see it happening. You know, can you get a player like Rodrigo signed up in a day? I don't know, with all the difficulty in contracts and all the behind the scenes stuff that would have to go on, I struggle to think we'd have time to make that late of a play for somebody like Rodrigo, who's, you know, not going to have a very straightforward contract with limited amounts of media stuff or anything in it, or promotional stuff or sponsorship stuff. I'd imagine that'd be tricky. John, how are you? Said, new member but long-term listener. Well, thank you for that, my man. Appreciate you. I heard about Rio's goal. Every Liverpool player except Dom touched the ball. It was an incredible goal for young Rio. And what we're talking about touches, John, the fact that Rio didn't take a touch himself still makes me smile to this day. It was an incredible finish. It was an incredible goal for us, and it was an incredible smash and grab when it looked like we were going to end the night frustrated. So glad you're in, my man. Thank you for your support. And yeah, Rio's future is so bright. The more I see this kid, the more I'm excited to see his development. And, you know, he just puts a smile on your face just watching him being interviewed, or even, you know, talking about football. You can see the enthusiasm coming through, and it certainly is infectious. Rodrigo and Guehi is better than just Isak. I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think we have to think in those terms, but we need to get Guehi and somebody in. Guehi and a forward. Because I'll be honest, I look at our forward options and I do think we've left ourselves short. Doesn't mean we don't rate the guys that are there, but we could do with another one. We really could. Paul said, is it true that Real offered 30 plus 5 for Konate recently, or is it old news? I can't confirm or deny it, because truth is, mate, I don't know. But I did see the reports that you're speaking about, but I just don't know how much truth there was to them, mate. So unfortunately, I can't shed much more light on that one. Let's go back and check out our poll on Trent. So we asked, would you take Trent back? Now we're just about to hit 3,000 votes, so we'll let it go a little bit longer. But we've given you 4 options. Yes, no, yes, but only with a big apology, and unsure. And I get we're all tempted to immediately just go no, no, no. And if it was me and it was a one-word answer, I'd probably hinge on no. But it's football, like I said, and it depends on the circumstances. It depends on the need we have in that position. It depends on the finances involved. It depends on the apology. It would depend on a whole lot of factors for me. But my gut instinct would be to say no. Got cool. Thank you, mate, for gifting 5 memberships as well. Really appreciate that one. Paul said, what's the situation with Chelsea and Rio? They won compensation for his training and football development, which I'm sure they are entitled to, but there hasn't been an agreed figure yet. I think there's been some type of arbitration process, but certainly it's a year now since Rio made the move, and there will be some money due. I wouldn't even look to try and guess, mate, what that might be. But whatever it is, I think it's going to be worth it for us in the long term. Nearly there. Just need 5 more votes. Just about there. There we go. So we asked, would you take Trent back? And 59% said flat out no. Yes, 16%. Only after a big apology, another 16%. And then unsure 7%. So by far, as you can see, most people saying no. 60% almost saying no. Got cool. Thank you, sir. And again, for the gift of memberships. Really appreciate that, mate. Very kind of you. Lovely to have you back in. Jonja said, I would like to get Isak confirmed only because it's like telling a kid at Christmas you're getting a new bike, and instead you give them a... What's that? Play-Doh. Sorry, I couldn't read what that was, mate. You're giving them Play-Doh. It's like giving them a saddle and then telling them you can have the stabilizers and then you can have the handles. To rob something from the commitments. It's kind of like, yeah, you'll get one piece each one. You don't get the whole thing. That's what it feels like so far in this window for me, John Joe. We've done a lot of the work, but we haven't put the finishing touches to the transfer window. We need to get that done. So glad we don't have these pesky second round Carabao Cup games, by the way. The draw is coming up at about 10 o'clock, so we'll keep you fully up to date as best we can with who Liverpool are drawn against in the third round, which is when the big boy teams come in, the European teams, not the Uniteds of this world, struggling, going life and death at Grimsby. That is mad embarrassing. Arsenal snatched Eze in 3 days. It takes us 4 weeks to get Guehi. I thought we were past that this summer. So it's difficult to say, no lie Eli, whether the delay is from Parish and maybe Oliver Glasner wanting to keep Guehi until, they can get him to kick every ball they can before the window shuts. So do they want him to play against Fredrikstad? Well, we know Oliver Glasner does. So I'm not sure whether the delay is over a few million quid, whether it's over Crystal Palace trying to eke out every game they can out of Mark Guehi, but it would certainly be great if we could speed the process up a little bit. And like I've said, we need to be selfish here. Look after our interests, and if Palace can't qualify for the Europa Conference League group stages and get past Fredrikstad, it's kind of not our concern, is it? 2 League of Ireland teams look like they could be qualifying though, which is interesting. Imagine that. Imagine 2 League of Ireland teams got in there and Crystal Palace couldn't. That would be, that would be interesting. Obviously, Rangers. Russell Martin's an absolute fraud of a coach. What has he done that's been brilliant? Every club he goes to, they look all over the shop. And I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal of hiring him as a coach. Rangers were down again, down to 10 men and 1 goal down. Max Aaron sent off. I was watching that game. Celtic knocked out last night as well on penalties away in Kazakhstan. So, yeah, it's not great for Scottish football at the minute either. Jed, thank you, mate. New to the channel, love you on the chat. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Jed. That's very kind of you. I'm so lucky, mate, to have the great community that we do. So, welcome in and welcome to the family. Next level comedy from United. Is it still 2-0? Are they really still losing? Oh, lads, come on. What are we up to now? 8 o'clock kickoff. 5 past. Must be about halfway through the second half now, are they? God, priceless. Absolutely priceless. I honestly thought they were going to win that game 3 or 4-0. Maybe I'm still giving them too much credit even now. Right, let's get into the comments. 2 down at 68 minutes. Ouch. That's shocking. Rangers getting beat 6-0 now, Tony. Oh, my days. So what's that in an aggregate, Rangers? 9-1? Something like that? That's shocking. Look, I know they should be losing to Club Brugge, to be fair. Club Brugge are a better club and have some good players in there. Simon Mignolet, by the way, in goal for them. But still, that's a thrashing. Like, Russell Martin's all over the shop. Mark said Grimsby Town currently 4th in League 2. 3 wins, 2 draws from 5 games. 10 goals scored, 5 conceded. And last year they finished 9th. There you go. And United have found their level anyway. I think we found that much out. Mark Palmer said, Amram needs to get sacked. Russell Martin to United. You've nailed it, bro. I'll get on that bandwagon, Mark. Let's do it. Russell Martin to United. Here we go. Let's make it happen. More Forever Football said, Craig, who do you think will get in the Champions League? Not really sure, but there are a few things that are somewhat predictable. So I was looking at something earlier on that said Liverpool will draw 2 of the following teams in Thursday's Champions League group stage draw. 1 tie at Anfield, 1 tie away from home, and 2 of these 6 clubs we will face. 1 at home, 1 away. PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Inter, Dortmund. So if I could pick 2 games there, Dortmund away would be nice. Go over to the Weltstadion or whatever the fuck their gaff's called. And Barca at home. I'd love Barca at home. So yeah, if I could cherry pick those two, Dortmund away, Barca at home, and then see whatever else happens. I hope the Reds don't get an away trip to Kazakhstan anyway. We don't need that travelling. Right, there's a few more things from earlier on I need to catch up on. So, Craig Hope, Daily Mail, again saying there's a feeling among some close to the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. It is. It's best for all parties. Fully agree with that statement, Craig. Well done, my man. Sale's best for all parties. You know, what would you do? Got to do it. Got to look after what's best for both parties. So, let me ask you guys a question about the weekend. So, if you're Arne Slot, Arsenal coming to town, what back four are you putting out? So, for me, if Bradley's fit, I'd play Bradley at right back. If Gomez is fit, I'm playing Gomez right centre back. I just don't want Konate starting. I just don't see how we could justify Konate starting at centre back against Arsenal. We know what we're going to get set piece wise against them. We know Arsenal are extremely proficient at set pieces. So I would say Gomez, Van Dijk. I'd probably err on the side of Robertson at left back, but I'd be far more open to the idea of Robertson or Kirkes than I would on the right side of centre back. I just can't see a way to justify Konate starting. Craig, would you be happy with Olise, Wharton, Sensei, Schotterbeck, and VVD gets multiple contract extensions and academy additions? I don't know, Harry. That's too far down the line, mate. I think this is too hypothetical. Robbo, Verge, Gomez, Bradley, said the good Kev. Hope you're doing well, Craig. Thanks for keeping us all up to date. Pleasure, man, pleasure. I try my best to keep everybody as up to date as I can on things, but you know, the last few days of this window are going to be hectic because there's going to be so many clubs looking to get business done. It's going to be manic for the last few days of the window. Oh, it was nearly 3-0, but it was ruled out for offside. Grimsby almost went 3-0 up. Oh, lads. Do you know what? There's no covering up this nonsense. You know, I can't wait to hear from the likes of Neville and all if they get knocked out. Because they always give it to Biggin. Like, Neville has United again. He's fucking deluded. Like, honestly, why do they even go to Gary Neville for opinion on United when they're doing their predictions? Because it's never realistic. I'm still waiting for Solanke to have the biggest impact of any player last season. That was his show. And he has United in the Champions League spots. On what basis? On what basis is Gary Neville put United into the Champions League spots? On what? It's delusional. Absolutely delusional. If they get top 7, they'll have had a good season. There's no way they're getting top 4. Not a hope. Spurs are way ahead of them. Newcastle are ahead of them. As in, with the levels of performance that they can put out there. It's shocking. I don't get it. It's just such pointless exercise asking Neville for an opinion on United or to try and take anything he says on them seriously. People are saying he looked onside as well. Well, obviously no VAR in these rounds of the League Cup. But look, they still have about 15-20 minutes to hang on there. So let's hope Grimsby can do it. Oh, lads, I'll be here for it. I will be absolutely here for it if they shit the bed on this one. And of course, we will give you the draw results as well of who the Reds will be playing in the third round. Imagine United are out of the competition before Liverpool have even kicked the ball in it. That would be hilarious. Just Henry said, I feel bad for Sesko because of the wrong decision. Again, I got laughed at when I said that. You know, people talk about my football opinions like I'm wet behind the ears and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If there's one thing on this planet I know, it's football. And I said exactly that. Sesko should have gone to Newcastle. And all United fans were like, why? We're a bigger club. Fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. But clearly obvious why. 1, he had a far better team around him if he went to Newcastle. 2, Champions League football, which United ain't getting again. So I'll never understand it. It was the wrong decision. Whoever advised them shit the bed massively, in my opinion. And a move to Newcastle would have been a far better one for him. And I'm going to die on that hill. Oh, they've pulled one back. People are saying 2-1. Oh, now this is going to make for a very, very, very interesting last few minutes on that one. Who scored for United, if you don't mind me asking? Was it Cantona? Was it Sesko? Was it Bruno? Interesting to see. That's going to make for a tasty last few minutes on that one. Either way, they're going life and death here with Grimsby of League 2. With a pretty strong team out on the pitch. Mbeumo. Interesting. So they finally got a striker then that scored, an attacker, that scored for them 220 million quid later against a League 2 side. Well done. LFC Cal said, who's more delusional, Arsenal fans or Neville when he talks about United? Neville. At least Arsenal fans have some reason to feel optimistic. You know, they've had good finishes in the last few years. They've got Champions League football again. They've invested pretty heavily in the transfer market. So I would say, look, Arsenal fans are delusional a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong. But Neville's just lost the plot when he talks about United, in my opinion. Like, how are we supposed to take anything he says around United seriously when he's putting them in Champions League spots for what? It's not based off anything that we're seeing. It's just based off vibes. Will said, hey Craig, would you consider Stevenson on Sunday? No, I wouldn't. No, not a chance, mate. You know, I'd consider Endo before that. And even at Endo, I'd say no. Because we know what we're getting. We're going to have Gabriel, we're going to have Saliba, we're going to have Arsenal looking for set pieces. So we're going to need somebody strong in there, which is why I'd go Gomez. If he's fit enough to start the game, I'd go for Joe Gomez. If I see Konate's name on the team sheet, I'm going to be worrying about what's going to come because there's been no signs of his form getting better. And I'm not sure, but I think Stevenson's gone out on loan. I don't really keep up with some of the fringe player movements, but I think if I remember correctly, he went out on loan somewhere. Right, let's keep going. Leone would be a huge call, wouldn't it? I've seen Mancy in the chat just say Leone. That would be a huge call, dude. I mean, there's two ways to look at the Leone show. You put him in and he hits the ground running and you're thinking, wait, well, he's not going to get many tougher games than that. So it would take a very, very brave call from Marner to put him in. But let's remember, we were told that he was coming in for the here and now. So let's wait and see. Suleiman said, Slot will drop Konate. He doesn't like dropping his first... Excuse me, Slot will start Konate. He doesn't like dropping his first team. So, one thing that we all hate from managers is playing favourites, right? You got to go off form. You have to. And maybe somebody like Salah, you say, okay, he's going through a bit of a sticky patch. We'll keep going with him because you know he's going to come good. And you know Mo might have that one moment in a game, even if he's not having a great game, he might have that one moment that reminds us why he's Mohamed Salah. At centre-back, it's different. One mistake, you know, Salah misses a chance, might not cost us the game. One mistake at centre-back and we're in trouble. And you know they're targeting him. You know every long ball or every set piece, they're targeting Konate. So, I think they have to. If you're not dropping him in this form, you're not going off form, are you? You're just going off favouritism and reputation. And right now, Konate's been all over the shop. Former Liverpool players coming out and saying it. Carragher, Mark Lawrenson, probably others that I'm not even aware of. You know, because then you can say, right, we'll get Konate through the international break. Maybe his head clears. You go again after the break. But right now, it can't be him. It just can't. Mancy said, Gamboleone can't be worse than Konate. Again, this is one of those Arna has said this guy's for the here and now. Same with Rio and Gamoa. So if they're for the here and now and they're first teamers, maybe Leone needs a chance. But I prefer going with Gomez just for experience in this one. Josh said Kwanzaa was benched after a poor 45 minutes. What's the excuse for Konate? Gomez has to start for me. I agree. If we're going off what we're seeing with our own eyes, what's happened over the first few weeks of the season, Josh, I think it's fair to say he doesn't deserve to start. Throw into that the uncertainty over his contract, I think it would be asking for trouble to start Konate. So where are we at now? Wednesday, 27th of August, so 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. We've got less than 5 days left of this window. Still no bid that we know of gone in yet for Isak. Still no breakthrough news on Mark Guehi, even though Romano saying Liverpool are ready to pay what's needed to sign him immediately. Well, signing him immediately means putting an offer down on the table to Crystal Palace to go, right, we want him right now. Here's whatever the offer is, 35 million, 40 million, 30 million, whatever it might be. So let's hope that comes to fruition. If Gomez isn't fully fit, then Leone should start, said Misty. I think at this point he should be close to it. So he's had the game against Newcastle. He got some minutes there. So I'll give him a recovery day. Some sessions ahead of the Arsenal game. He couldn't be too far off it. Even if he got 60, 65 out of Joe. Alex Hardy said, it's almost a free pass for Leone, if you ask me. Can't be any worse than Konate. Could be a lot better too. I'd give Leone a chance. He could bully Gyökeres. So I'm somebody who does not know much at all about Leone, other than a few highlights and clips I've seen. So I've no idea whether the conversations to start him or not are inspired or whether they're far-fetched. I really just don't know yet. It's hard to know when we haven't seen him kick a football in the Liverpool shirt and we've got very limited amounts of game time to go by anyway. Christopher said Gomez is still susceptible to mistakes like Konate. Susceptible to and doing them week after week, though, at the minute, mate, is a little bit different. Like, Konate's basic decision making is off. Any player can make a mistake, and like you've said, yeah, Gomez has made a few. But Konate he just looks all over the place. It just looks like he's a red card, a penalty, a mistake waiting to happen. More concerned with grappling people, grabbing hold of shirts, physical battles, but not winning the ball. Shane said, hey Craig, sorry I've not been around much. It's fine to me, mate. You don't have to apologise to me. Mentally wasn't good after Jota. I have some good news though, mate. I get married next Saturday. That's awesome. Congratulations to you. That's brilliant. Yeah, look, I think even surprised me quite how much I was impacted by the Diogo loss, mate. It certainly hit me deeper than I thought it would. So I totally understand that. But brilliant news about you getting married, mate. That's class. Enjoy. Hope you have a great day. I'm sure you will. And planning the international break as well. I got you. Well played. Tanya Wheatley, thank you for gifting a membership. Really kind of you, Tanya. So, I have a favour to ask. 2 things. 1, if you can, hit that like button for me. Let's try and get us up past 1,000 likes. And secondly, the latest episode of the Anfield Agenda podcast went out today. You can get it on Spotify and it's here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, of course. So if you do have a listen or a watch, let me know what you think. Myself, Chris and Steve, we talked about referees. We talked about the Newcastle game, the transfer window, everything you'd expect us to talk about. It's about 45, 46 minutes long. So if you do get a chance, please do check it out. Project Lunar, Craig, I love you, man. You're a class act. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. I do. It's always lovely to hear nice things like that, mate. Thank you. Still 2-1 in that game with what's left on. Actually, I'm going to open up an app and let's have a look, see how long is left in it. 84 minutes on the clock. Oof. 84 minutes. So there's 6 minutes and stoppage time to go. Ryan said, I love the channel, Craig. Start Leone against Arsenal. Well, thank you, Ryan. So let's ask the chat that. Let's go in and ask the chat what they think. So 1 second. So I'm going to ask you who should start beside Van Dijk on Sunday. Oh, it'd be helpful if I actually clicked on the right thing. Right, let's go. So we'll go Konate first. Leone. Gomez. Or other. Right, so do let us know. We put up a poll. Who's your partner VVD on Sunday? Konate, Leone, Gomez, or other, if you think maybe somebody like Endo, somebody like that. Apparently Leone has been great in training and could be match fitness. That would be a concern, but I play him. I don't really know off the top of my head. Thinking about the match fitness thing, right? I don't know off the top of my head what the average ground covered by a centre-back in the Premier League would be, or for Liverpool. I know when you're talking about midfielders, full-backs, players like that, you're often talking about 11 kilometres, somewhere around that mark, 11 and a half kilometres, unless your name's Florian Wirtz, in which case you're probably going up to 12. So I'm sure you could get through. Between him and Gomez, I'm sure you could get to 90 minutes sorted out. Italians are really good at embarrassing Arsenal. Leone must start, said Aaron Waddell. We love that one, mate. Will Morgan said Grimsby player Warren used to play for United. There you go. He scored 2. I don't know any of that Grimsby team. I don't know anything about them at all, except that they're in League 2. But I hope they hang on. I'm looking at the comments, waiting, hoping. Just feel like United will get an equaliser and then win it on penalties, but let's wait and see. Goldie losing his mind. As in Goldie, like Grime or fucking... What type of artist was Goldie again? It wasn't Grime, it was drum and bass, wasn't it? With Goldie? I can't remember. We're on back in the day here. Everton are 2-0 up in their game. Appreciate that, Mark, for the heads up. Stephen Moss, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, sir. Appreciate you. Anybody heading down to Electric Picnic this weekend? My daughter and her fella are going down. They've got the early camping access tomorrow, so they're heading down for it. It's our first festival, so I hope she has a good one. Anybody else heading down, I hope you enjoy it. Carlos said if Rio keeps doing what he's doing, I can see him getting many minutes. Plus, I think Hugo should get more 90s. Garage, there you go. That was the one. I thought he was... Oh, yeah. It's going back to the day, like, God almighty, I remember Goldie coming through when I was in my teens, probably. Oh, they've equalised. Maguire. I told you they'd probably get that fucking equaliser. Goldie, drum and bass, said Jamie Hall. So there you go. Yeah. Look, that's all they have, isn't it? Lash Maguire up top and hope for a miracle. But there you go, 2-2. 7 to 10 kilometres. Yeah. About what I thought, Mark. Thank you for that, though. They always just scrape through, don't they? Slab head, 2-2. So Alex Hardy saying, just seeing the offside goal back. Maguire played the ball to the Grimsby player. Grimsby might get robbed. Interesting. And that goes straight to penalties, right? if that's a draw. I don't think it goes into extra time, if my memory's right, in the early rounds of the League Cup. But it must be nearly over now. Let's have a quick look. They're in the 90 anyway. So close, so close. That's nuts. What do we think if it goes to penalties? Do you give Grimsby any chance? Or do you think United pull that out of the bag? Or do they go, do they get a winner in stoppage time? 5 minutes added on, said Callum. Thank you for letting me know, Callum. Let's see if they can find a winner in the 5 minutes then. Either way, this is surely going to be another interesting conversation for United fans around where the hell their team is at. What's this one? So, Plettenberg earlier on was saying, despite other reports, Olise does not have a release clause until 2029. I honestly don't know if I believe Plettenberg about that. Like, a release clause in 2029 would be what, the last year of his contract when he signed for Bayern in 2024, was it? He signed for Bayern? 5 years in to put the release clause in the last year? I don't know if I believe that. I think, yeah, I don't know if I believe the release clause is that late. Grimsby went on penalties, in my opinion, said Keane. Well, I hope United get the L, whether it be on penalties or not. I just have a sneaky feeling here in these last 5 minutes they might find a way. This is why the psychology in football matches fascinates me. You know, Grimsby 2 ahead after what? 75? Something like that? And then the last 15, the football psychology kicks in. You concede one and then the mentality is to drop back deeper, trying to hold on. We even seen it in our game against Newcastle, right? We've seen, we were 2-0 up against 10 mile, comfortable enough, and then concede one, start dropping back deeper. Second one comes, it almost feels inevitable at that point. Paul says United have a lot of good penalty takers. They do, to be fair, they do. Cunha, Bruno, no idea what Sesko's like on penalties. And Bomo, I'm sure, would be quite good as well. Just thinking back to the rest of that United team. Who else would take one? Actually, I don't know who's still on the pitch there, to be fair, for United. Mount probably take one, would he? Right, let's have a look at our poll. Is anybody else getting nervous that like these days are just blending into each other now in the transfer window when we still have no clear signs of movement on an Isak or... Right, so we said, oh, this is interesting. Who should partner VVD on Sunday? Still have a chance to vote if you haven't voted yet. Konate, Leone, Gomez or other are the options that we have up. So do have a vote on that one. Felt like that for ages, said Harry. I just keep wondering, mate, when are they going to do it? When are they going to move? When are we going to make a decision? Because if Isak, for whatever reason, becomes absolutely just unattainable now, this narrative of waiting, I'm not happy with that. I understand a manager might want the player and wants to wait to get the player eventually, but our squad can't cope with 6 months of waiting. The league could be out the window at that point. So, what are we doing this from a footballing perspective or a business perspective? The footballing perspective, then you should give the manager the tools he needs now. So if you can't get Isak, go get yourself somebody else. And then go get Isak when you can. But at what point do they make that decision? It just feels like Liverpool have always had this quiet confidence behind the scenes around Isak because there's been not many alternatives mentioned in the media or elsewhere. Sorry, my mouse is having a bit of a mare here. Let's turn it off and back on. That always works, doesn't it? Right, mouse, come on. There we go. Now she's back working. Michael, how are we? Welcome in, Michael Dunson. Lovely to see you again. Rangers out 9-1 on aggregate. That's a whooping. An absolute whooping. How do you lose 9-1 on aggregate in a qualifier in the Champions League? That is all kinds of shocking. Right, when we get to 2,000 votes on this one, we'll knock it on the head. We're asking who you think should partner Virgil van Dijk on Sunday. Konate, Leone, Gomez, or other. It's getting close for us until the transfer window shuts, said Carlos. Commentators have finally acknowledged Grimsby's third should have stood, said Mark. I haven't seen it, but it's gone to pens now, is it? Oh, it's gone to pens. United fans want Amarim out tonight. Do they really? Come on. Surely they're a bit mixed on it. Do you know, Amarim deserves to be sacked for one reason. Not because of anything to do with what's going on the pitch. So I don't have to listen to that fucking song. That United fan song that they drone on and on. I can't be arsed with that song. For that reason alone, I want him gone, because I cannot listen to that song for another few years. It's just every time they're droning on and on with the song over and over. The journos come out with, we had no encouragement. Well, no encouragement thing is a bit of a cop-out, isn't it, Crispy Dippers? Because the player's given us a lot. In underlining that he doesn't want to be at Newcastle, in reiterating, even in front of the ownership group of the club, at his gaff, that he doesn't want to be there. So he's done his part, and I hope we don't leave him high and dry. Some wanted him sacked at half-time, said Mancy. Be a shame if Bruno had to hand back his missed penalty title tonight. Again, he turned down huge money in the Saudi Pro League to stay with that United team. Now, if you're a United fan, you're thinking, thank you, Bruno, that's brilliant. But, if you're him, are you having any second thoughts now, thinking, well, I'm about to win nothing here? What's this? Michael Proctor said, I scored 3 in the Jota celebration. I wanted to play goalkeeper before. There you go. Well, you banged in 3 there, mate. So, nothing wrong with a hat-trick. Well done. He's still linked to Saudi. They wouldn't sell him now. Got to be uproar if United sold him now. He really is the heartbeat of that United team. Like, he's such a difference maker to them. Well, it's the difference between shit and massively shit for United. Craig, that song ain't that bad. Oh, it's terrible, Aaron. Every time it just drones on, you hear them in the stadiums, the travelling United fans just banging out that stupid song over and over and over. Right, we only need 160 odd more votes. Who should partner Van Dijk on Sunday? Do have a vote and let us know. It's your show after all. Do we think Kobe Mainoo leaves United, by the way, before the window shuts? I know he's been linked with moves away. For whatever reason, it doesn't look like he's getting much love from Ruben Amorim there. So what do we think happens if Mainoo leaves? Surely United won't sell him to a Premier League team. You'd have to imagine they'll try and force him over to Germany or, I don't know, Spain or somewhere like that. And also, what happened about their money problems? They were running out of money in a few weeks, according to Jim Ratcliffe at one point. Now they're the biggest net spenders in the Premier League summer transfer window, sacking off staff left, right and centre. New backroom staff for us. One member, mate, yeah. Let me just read you through what James Pearce said. So, Liverpool have added to Arne Slot's backroom staff with the appointment of Luis Fernando Lubel as the new individual development lead coach. Went on to say as well that Lubel's arrival means a change of role for Aaron Briggs, who's now set to be confirmed as Liverpool's first team set-piece coach, according to James Pearce. Keane said, knowing Onana, he'll have a worldie on pens. Whatever happens now, though, it's comical for United. It doesn't matter. They were taken to penalties by a League Two side. So if they win on penalties, so be it. But they were still dragged to penalties, went life and death with a League Two side. So, and with a strong team out that featured Cunha, Sesko. So it's not like they put out the kids. And also, what do we think happens with Harvey between now and the close of the window? That's one that obviously is going down to the wire because Chelsea are trying to sign Xavi Simons, and then RB Leipzig looking at Elliott as a potential Simons replacement. So all that has to line up as well. What's this one that Mark sent me? Positive talks between Roma and Liverpool for Kostas on loan with the option to buy. The Greek left back is already in agreement in principle. Contract until 2029, 1+3. Well, they've got to make sure that whatever the deal is for Kostas, that it isn't an option to buy, that it's an obligation at the end of it. Grimsby got robbed as well, said Monkstown Glass. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that third goal that was ruled out should have been on. David said, Craig, what's the news? Just come in. I will go through it in a moment for you, sir. Bear with me. So the big bits of news that you really need to know about tonight, I guess, come from the Daily Mail first. I'm not going to take you through half the waffle, but it said there's a feeling at the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. And Keith Downey also said something similar. So that was Craig Hope of the Daily Mail. But then we had this one from Keith Downey of Sky Sports, who said, the information I've got is that the meeting with Isak and the hierarchy on Monday didn't go too well. There certainly wasn't a positive resolution that came out of it. That means there's a fairly high chance, as of Wednesday, that Isak could leave for Liverpool. So it's looking like that side is starting to loosen the terminology a little bit to lean into, well, maybe Isak does go. On top of that, David, we had Fabrizio Romano on The Zone Football saying Liverpool are ready to pay what's needed to sign Mark Guehi immediately this summer. So let's wait and see if that happens. James Pearce said whether we sign Mark Guehi now or in the future, he will be a Liverpool player. So again, I hope it's now, but yeah, let's wait and see. I never quite understood why they got rid of De Gea. I never understood it either. Maybe they thought the grass was greener, but I remember the years where David De Gea was a massive difference maker for Manchester United. Like, kept them in seasons and games. Right, where's our poll at? I'm keeping an eye on the penalties that you guys are saying to me as well in the chat here. Because the draw's coming after that as well, the third round draw. So we've gone past 2,000 votes and 43% want Leone to start, which is the most popular answer. So we asked, who do you want to partner VVD on Sunday? 42% said Leone, Gomez 34%, Konate 20%, and other 2%. So yeah, it's definitely not a lot of love for the idea of Konate starting alongside. So let's wait and see what Arna does. Does Arna stick with his man? Does he twist? Do we get maybe news before the weekend about Konate's future? Because that's still up in the air as well. David said, hope we get both of them. We need them. We do. We do, mate. Absolutely. And for me, it ties up the whole window then, David, really neatly. If you end the window with bringing in Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, Guehi, Frimpong, Kirkes, Mamadashvili, Leone, that is an incredible window. And Bajcetic staying as well, David, is good news. I don't know if I read that one out to you earlier on, but I think I did. But Paul Joyce reported that Liverpool are keeping Stefan Bajcetic, and as he said, Stefan Bajcetic is to stay at Liverpool and work with Arne Slot and the coaching staff on his continued development. Tyler Morton's move to Lyon, with James McConnell set to join Ajax, means Liverpool want Bajcetic to remain. Oh, Grimsby missed a penalty. Oh, that's a shame. Onana coming up clutch with a penalty save. So, yeah, advantage United in the shootout. Misty said if Konate signs before the Arsenal game, should he start? I'd still say no, Misty, and here's why. His head isn't right, and I don't know if it would be before Sunday. There's then a natural break where he can go and have a mental reset. I'm not sure if he's in the France squad or not. I actually didn't check. But he can have a mental reset and then come back after the international break and go again. So I would still say I wouldn't really want them. I wouldn't want them playing at the weekend. No. Joseph said, it always riles me up when Celtic and Rangers go on about how they will be a top Premier League team in England. They deserve tonight, championship at best. I think, Joseph, though, there needs to be a bit more context to that. Because if they were in the Premier League, they'd have far more money. And they have huge fan bases. I'm not really sure how huge Rangers is. I really just don't know. But Celtic certainly have a massive fan base. Loads come over from Ireland every week. And if they were in the Prem, I say maybe within 5 years they'd build up to having a pretty good squad with plenty of money. Because remember, the Premier League's the richest league in the world. So I do think if they did come to the Prem, yeah, I think they'd actually do all right. And certainly the fan bases would help. So what are we at now in the penalty? So I'm guessing Dalot scored because somebody said, come on, Dalot, miss, and then damn it. So I'm gathering he scored. Does that mean United are 1 away from winning? 3-4. So if Grimsby don't score this one, then United are through. But either way, still advantage United. 4-3. Hang on, I'm confused now. So it's 4-4. So now it's United's penalty to win it, right? If I'm gathering right from this chat. So 4-4. So it's the last penalty for United. If they score, they're through. You'd imagine they would, going off the averages so far in the shootout. But either way, it's been an embarrassing evening for them. And certainly one that's going to make Amram have to have another think. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat. This is probably making for really boring. Oh, it's saved. No way. He missed it. Cunha missed the penno. Cantona missed the penno. Oh my days. Saved. So we're into sudden death now. Ooh, squeaky bum time for United fans. Oh my days. Cunha missed. That's nuts. Thank you for keeping me up to date, by the way. Yeah, you guys are my lifeline on this one, so do keep letting me know what's happening. Wow, so we're into sudden death then, 4-4 after 5 penalties each. Let's take you through some of the other results actually while we're waiting. And Grimsby have scored. Oh, pressure on United here then. United have to score. So other results tonight. Carabao qualified for the Champions League group stage. Benfica, they went through 1-0. Bruges 9-1 on aggregate. Copenhagen went through 3-1 on aggregate. In the League Cup, Everton won 2-0. Fulham won 2-0. Oxford United were beaten 6-0 by Brighton, and it's penalties, sudden death in the United game. 5-5. 5-5 United have scored there, so we're still in sudden death. 5-5. Big pressure. This is weird. I'm not even watching the game, but I'm gripped by the chat and what people are writing in. Come on, Grimsby. Come on, the fish and chips. Come on, the Grimsby. And then we've got the draw coming up as well. 6-5. 6-5. So again, pressure back on United. Grimsby have done their part. Bum, 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 bum. 6-5. I'm gripped, lads. I'm gripped. By the sounds of it, and I didn't watch the second half, by the sounds of it, Grimsby deserved to go through. People were saying the third goal that was ruled out was onside. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Oh, it's Kobe Mainu next. Oh, if I'm Kobe Mainu, I'm intentionally leaning back and skying this one. Adios, off his goal, bitches. I'm out of here. Dave, you're from Grimsby. Ah, nice. Come on, lads. Come on. I still can't believe United will get beaten. I'm still thinking they'll find a way to win this. 6-all. Mainu scored. Still in sudden death. 6-6. Ooh. I just have that feeling they're going to squeak through here. But God, I hope I'm wrong. Grimsby next up. And of course, we still have the draw to come as well, like I mentioned. Alex said, unfortunately, I agree. I think United scraped by. Either way, though, it's still funny. Like, I mean, I'm still enjoying my stream here, chatting with you guys about how close they're coming to going out. And intrigued then to see the draw afterwards. See who we get. I always want a home draw for the people in the Auto Cup scheme so they can at least get a game in. So Mark saying match point Grimsby. Does that mean Grimsby scored? The Grimsby score. So was it 7-6 Grimsby? Maguire up now. Does he know he can't head it? He knows he can't head it, right? Centre-backs usually hit a good penalty, to be fair. Remember Verges with Kepa? That was priceless. 7-7. Ooh, so Maguire scored. Right, I'm going to guess this is the one Grimsby missed, right? I have nothing on, I can't see it. I'm guessing Grimsby missed their next one. So, 7-7. Sudden death. Maguire top bins. Something about centre-backs and penalties. I don't know, they seem to be quite good at them. Imagine the pressure those Grimsby lads are feeling as well at home there. Trying potential chance to knock out United. This is why 8-7. Oh, they've scored. This is why I love that the League Cup goes straight to penalties now. Because if that went to extra time, we all know what's happening. 8-8. Have United scored? Dave says 8-8, so... Oof. Mike, don't be telling me about nearly misses, mate. God, don't be putting the heart in my mouth, mate. Oh, so it's 8-7. Dave made a mistake. It's 8-7 Grimsby. Who's up next for United? 8-8. So they did score. Still in sudden death. 8-8. Oh, lads, the nerves at this point. Being a goalkeeper, it's great in penalties because no one expects much of you, so you can only really be a hero in them. So we're 8-8 as it sits. We will make sure we get you guys through the draw as well, don't worry. (9-8). Oh, 9-8. Oh, the pressure's ramping up. It's 9-8. 9-8 to Grimsby. Oh, who's next up for United? Oh, the pressure. Come on, goalkeeper. Grimsby keeper. Come on, mate. Put out of madness. Oh, it's Sesko. (9-9). Sesko scores. Oof. 9-9. So there's been 10 taken. So we must be on the keepers now, are we? Oh, lads, 9-9 down to the keepers now, is it? I don't know if Onana's taken one yet, but Yeah, down to the keepers. Oh. Yeah, Colin, we're staying on for the draw. Hopefully it's quick though, because I want to get the news video out as well. 10-9. Grimsby keeper scored. It's up to Onana now. Oh, lads. 10-9. What a shootout. Fans inside that stadium certainly getting their money's worth. 10-10. Onana scores. Oh, my God. They're still going. That's nuts. Onana scores 10-10. We're still going in sudden death. So then we go again. Start back through the process again. We've got the 11 done. Now they go back again. First penalty takers all over again. Dave, half your family's there. Well, they're getting a night to remember anyway, Dave. Hopefully they can cap it off with the win, but 11-10. 11-10 Grimsby. Oh, lads. So who'd be next up then for United? Who was their first penalty taker? 11-10. Fair play. Both these sets of players like the pressure. 11-10. Oh, Bruno's next up. Eleven all. Fernandez scores. It's still going on. 11-11. If United scrape through this, Amram's going to try and claim this as some huge moral victory. 11 all. How are they still going? Twelve 11 to Grimsby and still going. Alex said you were right earlier, Craig. United have well and truly found their level. Yeah, I think we can definitely say life and death now with Grimsby. No matter what else happens, United have gone life and death here. Oh my God. 12-11. This is mental. I don't think I've ever... United are out. Are they out? It's over. They're gone. Is that right? Can I get a confirmation on that? They're out. Losing to Grimsby on panels in a row. It's over. Grimsby win. Whoop whoop. Football wins. Oh, let's hear the Amram song again there, lads. Come on, I love that song. Oh my days. Yes, Grimsby. Wow. 12-11 Grimsby. Who and Boma hit the bar? Oh. There we go. So now we've got the draw coming up, which United won't be in, just in case you're just joining us. Oh my days. So, Grimsby Town through to the third round of the League Cup, the round in which the big boys only enter. So, oh lads, imagine we got Grimsby in the draw now. Oh my days. That's mad. Just going to leave this one up from Callum. We just leave that up there, Callum. You know, you're an Arsenal fan, I'm a Liverpool fan. We can both enjoy this moment together, dude. United are out. It's beautiful. What a night. Peter said that game will become a meme. Ruben Amorim, the man that was brought back to restore the glory days, got knocked out by Grimsby. Oh, that's fucking brilliant. That's made my night now. Whatever else happens, that's made my night. Now we have the draw coming up. I'm going to see if I can get the draw on my phone, actually. Hang on. Lower down my volume. Get Sky on the phone. Get the draw going. That's priceless. That's brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, Grimsby Town have knocked Manchester United out of the Premier League. No, sorry, not out of the Premier League, out of the League Cup. It'd be great if they could knock them out of the Premier League. But who knows, they might do that themselves this season. That is absolutely nuts. Monkstown Glass, and I'm so glad because Grimsby won that 3-2. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the goal that was ruled out, but loads of people saying that it was it should have stood, that weren't offside. What's this one? Let's have a look at this. Who's this club pretending to be a football club? Yeah, they're shocking, United. Shocking. But that's really made me smile. That they're out. Jacko said, Grimsby, let's go. Comical penalties. I'm here for it, Jacko, my man. I'm here for it. That's nuts. I thought, hand on heart, they were going to go there and win 3-4-0. Straightforward evening, especially when I seen the team they'd put out. Jordan said, lol, 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 Banter FC at it again. Give that man Amorim a lifetime contract. Yeah. What was it they were saying about Cunha again? Cantona. Yeah, Cantona. Cantona wouldn't have let that happen. My nan is a Grimsby fan. Had to check the life insurance, said Harry. Oh, look, genuinely delighted. What a upset that is. What a shock. What a result for Grimsby Town. And now, obviously, the third round draw coming up as well. We'll see who gets who. That is absolutely priceless. So, like you see, let's look at Brighton as an example. Brighton went to Oxford and won 6-0. Went to there and won 6-0. Everton won 2-0 at home against Mansfield. So everybody else, Fulham won 2-0, doing their job. United go to Grimsby, fourth tier of English football, and get knocked out on penalties. You have to love it. You have to love it. Mark said 4-4 tunes, get to work on the new video. That is absolutely delicious. Joe said, what's the difference between Manchester United and a teabag? A teabag stays in the cup longer. This is true. And I love that we see that joke recycled every year as well, because it's funny every year. They really want midweeks off. They do. You're right, mate. They do. No European football to be concerned with. No League Cup to be bothering themselves with. FA Cup, the only chance of silverware this year for United, unless they can find a way into the Johnson's Paint Trophy or whatever it's called these days. And Bomo and Cunha, the two missed penalties. What's that between them? 110, 115, 120 million quid. I can't remember how much they cost between them. That's a shame. So Sesko chose the right club. Well, based off his penalty. Oh, he scored his penalty actually, didn't he? So yeah, we can't blame him on it. But yeah, it is ironic that Mbomo and Cunha are the ones that missed. Even Onana scored the penalty, which is absolutely nuts. Southgate in. Andrew James said, I want us to get Wrexham. That'll be class. Wrexham will be fun. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh, what a night. What a night. Right, let's go. What's this one? Stephen said, how does your big name striker take the 10th penalty? Lost to the winner chicken dinner. Yeah, that is mad actually. It's a fair point. 10th penalty, Stephen. That is a fair point you've made. Big name striker brought in and you stick him 10th. That really is a noodle scratcher, Stephen. Yeah, good point. Giggs, back in 2011 said, we would never collapse like Liverpool. How's that working out, Ryan? Yeah, that's let the banter begin. The 100 million man Sesko shot 10th, said Chad. I think, Chad, you've summarised up all of us there with that comment, dude. Yep, we're all having one of those moments at the minute. Ha ha, chuckle, chuckle, because they deserve to be bantered. Edwin, thank you, mate, for making me laugh with the ha-ha-has as well. And Chad, thank you as well. Right, the draw. Let's see who we get in the draw. Right, who's keeping me up to date on the draw? Because I couldn't get it on my phone. Ryan Reynolds and Anfield on the touchline. Yeah, I wouldn't say no. That'd be fun. Saeed is smashing his gaff up on his live. Oh, I like Saeed. Saeed's a good guy. Oh, the draw's at 10:30. Oh, is it? Well, then I'm going to go watch the draw. I'm going to go watch the draw and then react to it and come back to record the news video. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leg it, watch the draw at 10:30, and then I'll come back with a news video and we'll report what's happened. So, yeah, that works then. Ladies and gents, I'm going to say goodnight. Cheers for joining me this evening. And a night that, yes, we're still waiting for Isak. We're still waiting for Mark Guehi. I'll give you all the updates as I can at about 11:15. And, of course, we'll know then who Liverpool are going to play in the next round of the League Cup. So, look, appreciate you being in. Keep an eye out for that video dropping in a while. And, yeah, enjoy your hate watches of all the United fan content tonight. I think you're going to have some fun. Right, my friends, we'll talk.